Welcome to Film Club. The Last of Us Episode 6, Kin, is now out. Does Episode 6 deliver, or is it a drop down from previous episodes? Does the reunion of Joel and Tommy go well? In this video, we review the plot, characters, and rate the episode at the end, while comparing it to the other episodes this season. Then we will look at the early Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb scores for the season as a whole. Full spoilers ahead, so if you want to go into the episode blind, then perhaps come back later. With that out of the way, let's get straight into it. Plot. First, a little recap from last episode. In episode 5, Joel and Ellie left Kansas City after Sam became infected and his older brother Henry shot him and himself. Joel and Ellie bury the brothers and head off together to find Tommy, Joel's brother. This episode takes place 3 months after those events in episode 5, as we follow Joel and Ellie as they travel over a beautiful and snowy Wyoming. After crossing Death River, the pair are ambushed and are held at gunpoint by a group on horseback, led by a woman called Maria. Joel tells the group that he's looking for his brother, and that diffuses the situation. The group take Joel and Ellie back to their settlement. Joel sees Tommy in the settlement, and the two brothers hug. Tommy, Maria, Joel and Ellie then sit down at the settlement's canteen, and Tommy reveals that he's married to Maria. Ellie and Joel seem a bit out of place to the quiet, orderly settlement they now find themselves in. Joel and Tommy go to a bar together, and things become frosty between the pair. Very quickly, the relationship fractures. Tommy tries to separate himself from Joel and their past actions together, and Joel criticises Tommy's settlement and his wife Maria. Joel leaves the bar in anger, and then clutches his chest for the second time this episode as he is having another panic attack. While Tommy and Joel are talking, Maria takes Ellie to her house. Ellie showers, goes downstairs, and then Maria talks to her, warning Ellie about Joel. She also mentions that Joel lost his daughter years ago. Ellie defends Joel, and the pair head to the settlement's movie theatre. A few hours after their argument in the bar, Tommy finds Joel and gives him some new boots as a peace offering. Tommy reveals that Maria is pregnant with their unborn child. Joel then tells Tommy about everything: Tess's death, Ellie's immunity, and his fear of letting Ellie down. Joel says that he's fallen asleep numerous times during his watch, and his deafness is leading him to not hear people creep up on them, and he is having regret-filled dreams. Because of this, Joel asks Tommy to take Ellie to the Firefly lab in Colorado, as he doesn't trust himself to look after her anymore. Joel, despite not trying to show it, has also become attached to her and doesn't want to lose Ellie the way he lost his daughter. Tommy agrees to take Ellie to Colorado, as the vaccine could bring a better world for his unborn child. Ellie overhears a conversation that Joel and Tommy have, that Joel wants Tommy to take her to Colorado. She is upset with Joel seemingly discarding her. Ellie shouts and pushes Joel, and also mentions his dead daughter. Joel says that Ellie is not her daughter, and he's certainly not her dad. He then leaves Ellie and reminisces about his daughter. In the morning, Tommy brings Ellie to the settlement stable, ready to leave and head to Colorado. In the stable, they see Joel, who now acknowledges that he can't leave Ellie, and he gives Ellie the choice to head to Colorado with him or with Tommy. Without hesitation, Ellie chooses Joel, and they leave the settlement on horseback. After 5 days' travel, they reach the Eastern Colorado University. The university campus seems to be completely empty, but they push on. They see a sign directing them to a medical building with a Firefly logo painted on it. After seeing some escaped monkeys, they reach the medical building. The medical building is also abandoned. As they search through the medical building, Joel and Ellie see a map with the location of St. Mary's on it, which is where the Fireflies have relocated to. They are interrupted when they hear 4 raiders searching below the building. Joel and Ellie try to escape the raiders, and they leave the medical building and head to their horse. Just before they get to their horse, one of the raiders with a baseball bat creeps up on Joel. Joel doesn't hear the raider, just another sign of his failing hearing, putting him and Ellie in danger. Ellie shouts to Joel, and he dodges the raider's baseball bat swing. He grabs the raider and snaps his neck. Ellie looks at Joel in shock, her eyes focused on his abdomen. Joel looks down and then sees a part of the raider's baseball bat impaled in his stomach. Ellie helps him onto the horse, and they flee the other pursuing raiders. After the horse puts distance between them and the raiders, we rejoin the pair, as Joel drifts into unconsciousness. He falls off the horse into the snow. Ellie goes to Joel saying she can't do this without him, and the camera zooms out, and we cut to black. A very character-heavy episode, with no infected being seen. Joel and Ellie accept their positions as adopted father and daughter, and the cliffhanger ending leaves me very excited for what's to come next. Plot, 9 out of 10. Entertainment value. The thematic focus is on Joel this episode, and his relationship with Tommy and Ellie being explored in almost all of the dialogue. Aside from the fight at the end, Kin is a character development episode. It's entertaining, and masterful performances by Pascal and Ramsey get you even more attached to their dynamic. Entertainment value for episode 6 scores 8 out of 10. Characters and performances. Pedro Pascal was Joel. Pascal was brilliant. In every conversation you can see the contradicting emotions and thoughts that Joel is struggling with. The way he pauses in his dialogue adds weight to what Joel says. There's a reason why he's the main character in The Last of Us, a fan favourite from Game of Thrones, a celebrated character from Narcos, and a main star, aside from Grogu, in The Mandalorian. He's very talented and draws you in with his acting chops. His stoic performance and delivery expresses his tragic past and his reluctance to develop a bond with Ellie, while simultaneously, through mannerisms and hesitation, showing that Joel sees his daughter in her. Joel's internal conflict is displayed in all its glory by Pascal this episode. Great performance. Bella Ramsey is Ellie. There is no doubt that Bella Ramsey is a very good young actress. However, I'm conflicted by the character Ellie. She just talks way too much. In the moments where she's upset at Joel, you feel sorry for this teenage girl who's lost everything, and everyone she's ever loved. And when she defends Joel to Maria, she's a great character, and Bella portrays Ellie very well in these dramatic moments. But when she swears every other word, and constantly does the opposite of what Joel says, it does get annoying. She's either brilliant, or irritating. There seems to be no in-between for how I feel about the character. But perhaps I'm being too harsh, I don't know. Gabriel Luna as Tommy. Gabriel was great casting, and I hope he shows up again in later episodes and in season 2, which has been given a green light by HBO by the way. He is a younger, healthier, more at peace version of Joel, with all the same qualities and character flaws, but he is still open, unlike Joel, and he's positive about the future with his new unborn baby soon on the way. Luna plays Tommy and Joel's disagreements and friction at the start of the episode really well. Their clear brotherly bond is shown no more than when Tommy is willing to risk it all to help Ellie, just because his brother asked him to do so. Rutina Wesley is Maria, a member of the town's council and Tommy's wife. I did not enjoy Wesley's performance. Her and Tommy didn't have any chemistry on screen at all, and she seemed all too ready to be a know-it-all tough mother figure to Ellie. Not an awful performance, but I found Maria to be a very annoying character. Characters and performances score 8 out of 10. Visuals. This episode was very different to the scenery of other episodes. The snowy landscape and the moments where the camera stays on Joel and Ellie for sustained periods of time, as they are walking and then riding their horses through the Wyoming winter wonderland. Natural beauty is a big part of The Last of Us, and it's front and centre this episode. The Northern Lights, I'm guessing they were CGI'd in, but I don't know for sure, added a wondrous feel to the early stages of this episode. Tommy and Maria's settlement is well designed too. Visuals score 9 out of 10. Sound. The crisp crunching of the snow and the neighing of the horses, the cranking open of doors etc. It sounded really well, as you would expect from a massive HBO production. Onto the soundtrack, the opening theme is thoughtful, simple and natural sounding, replicating the feel of the show. The music really is becoming one of the best aspects of a great show. It doesn't outstay its welcome and is used sparingly. It would be easy to make the mistake of using melancholy songs to punctuate every character moment, but this would decrease the emotional impact when the music does come in. The soundtrack avoids this mistake and is used expertly at just the right times. Sound scores 8 out of 10. Ending. I thought we may have stayed in the settlement for the whole episode, exploring the conflict between Tommy and Maria and Joel and Ellie, but I'm happy that we leave the settlement for the final 10 or so minutes as Joel and Ellie head to the Firefly lab. Expectations are subverted when they finally reach the lab, as it is abandoned. The aim of their whole journey thus far has been to get to Colorado and this Firefly lab. This subversion maintains the tragic and harsh world of The Last of Us. The Raider attack on Joel, and Joel falling to the ground as a final shot, is a great way to end the episode, and leaves us wondering how will Ellie save Joel. There's no way Joel will die like this, but it does create good tension. A great cliffhanger ending. Ending scores 10 out of 10. Rating. The Last of Us Episode 6 receives an overall rating of 87%. An important episode where Joel finally commits to being all in as Ellie's surrogate dad. An introduction to Tommy's settlement and development of where Tommy and Joel are in their lives, concluding with a shocking ending. Again, another great episode. Episode comparison. Episode 6, Kin, comes in 4th place out of the 6 episodes. Not because it is bad, but because most of the episodes are phenomenal. The whole episode focused on Joel, where we see his failing health and struggle to open up to Ellie, so for an episode which was mainly just talking and no action until the final 10 minutes, it did a pretty good job of keeping me entertained. My overall rating of The Last of Us, 6 episodes in, is 88%. Series comparison. The Last of Us sits in 3rd place, just below House of the Dragon Season 1. It's anyone's guess as to whether it will overtake House of the Dragon or even Andor in 1st place. It's a really great show. It stuck the landing, and a middle third, and now as we enter the last 3 episodes of the series, it will define it as either being a brilliant show with a great ending, or a brilliant show with a subpar ending. My money is on the former. Genre comparison. If we look across the action-adventure genre, it's overtaken James Gunn's Peacemaker, and The Last of Us sits in 1st place. My rating of 87% for episode 6 is slightly less when compared to IMDb users, who have rated this episode at 9.2 out of 10. My overall series rating stands at 88%, which is trumped by the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter for the season overall, which stands at 97%. The Rotten Tomatoes audience score is only 91%. Next week, we'll be reviewing episode 7 of The Last of Us as soon as it comes out. Currently every Wednesday, we're reviewing The Bad Batch Season 2 and soon The Mandalorian Season 3. On the movie front, the Ant-Man Quantumania spoiler and non-spoiler reviews are out, and the next film coming up is the Adam Driver movie 65 on the 10th of March, followed by Shazam Fury of the Gods and then Dungeons & Dragons. So for more videos like this, please consider subscribing to Film Club. See you again.